Hey, what is up, guys? Evanaldo here, going to give you a Bitcoin and Ethereum update, kind of the aftermath of the FOMC meeting. He seemed pretty hawkish to me. Powell seemed pretty hawkish to me. I think it's going to be some more time until we see a pivot, obviously, or a less of a rate increase. If you enjoyed the content, guys, please leave a thumbs up. Also, check out the promo with BITGET down below. The airdrop, a free $100 USDT position. Details are down here. Once you click my link, you get this screen and you can do it. You need a VPN if you're in the US. Also, you need to create a new account to do it if you already have one. Also, please follow my Twitch. Going live, almost every night at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Sometimes I do it differently. Did it earlier today on the FOMC meeting, so follow to get that notification every time I go live here. The live streams are exclusively on Twitch. We have a lot of fun in there. Really great time. Check that out. Let's get into the analysis right now. Also, by the way, guys, last thing, the Discord, the exclusive Discord, check it out. Link in description below with some of the exclusive TA trade entries. We got some really good shorts in there right now for Bitcoin, Ethereum. Dogecoin, it was a really risky one I told everyone about, but going pretty well so far. And I'll kind of show you, the way I thought after we look at Bitcoin and Ethereum, the way I thought kind of found the top on Dogecoin, potentially the top. Who knows with that? Anything could happen with that. Very risky, but sometimes the alts you can make a lot of money pretty quickly. So check that out. Link in the description below if you're interested in the Discord. Let's get right into it. So with the meeting, it seems still pretty hawkish. I think Bitcoin's kind of crypto's kind of in its own trajectory now. I think it's starting to break apart of the S&P 500. And if we have bottomed out, the thing is, I think it's more likely. Like the odds we've bottomed out now are much more likely than they used to be based on money flow on a lot of these time frames, especially based on kind of where you get into on the 12-day. Now we're coming into the red. It was the accumulation phase kind of after you bottomed out in each area. You know what I mean? We're kind of getting into that big accumulation phase here. But the best case scenario I kind of see happening, guys, is like 2015, just a sideways, very boring year. Because if I see the best case scenario, I see the S&P 500 and the Nasdaq continuing to come down a lot lower. I mean, I think we're about halfway through that bear market. Best case scenario, I think for Bitcoin and cryptos, you kind of just stay range bound sideways in this area. And like we saw in 2015, it could be a while. And a smart man, some of you guys may not like him too much, but Kevin O'Leary said we're going to be probably pretty sideways until you get some regulation. So I have a feeling that could happen. Now, if we're going to break to lower lows, I think it's going to happen probably November, December. It could happen in January. I think it's going to be sooner. I have a feeling it may happen after midterms. Be careful be careful in the month of November. Be careful this month. And that would be a 400 weekly moving average is going to be a huge point at 13.5 right now, which is a huge area. But, for a long-term perspective, not too relevant whether it's the bottom. I mean, 20K to 13K or even 10K. Look, I mean, we're going for, if you think we're going to get to at least new all-time highs in the next bull run, it doesn't, it's not that big of a difference buying at 20K. It's a big DCA type area. I think the next 6 to 12 months are going to be huge for DCAing into this market. For altcoins, if it's like it was last time, you got a few months to wait before the Bitcoin altcoin evaluations kind of bottom out and altcoins start outperforming Bitcoin, which is going to be probably March. So kind of my technique, not financial advice, focus more on Bitcoin, maybe a little bit of ETH right now. I don't really consider ETH to be an altcoin anymore. But to get into altcoins, I would say January probably at the earliest, mid or early to mid 2023 is going to be kind of prime time to all the way to probably the end of the year. But March would probably be that area, So that's where I'm looking at for there. You got time, I think. I think it would be very unlikely we just enter some hyperbolic bull run anytime soon. I don't even think it's going to be anywhere near what it was in 2019. That was I really don't think you're going to see anything like that. Could be wrong, but I really don't think that's going to happen. Looking at some of these time frames for kind of the shorter term, for a trading perspective, why I'm short right now. And, your 2-day, this is starting to get pretty high here. This is even, look at right here. You were getting close to 58K right there. You're getting close to the top. I mean, even in a massive bull run, you're getting close to some of these tops. I know here this kind of the accumulation phase into the bull run obviously went a lot higher there, got a lot overheated these two areas. But any time other than kind of, I guess you could make the argument the bull run started here. This is more of accumulation though, I guess. Depends on who you talk to, but anytime other than entering kind of a mini bull market, when you come up to the green, look, that just rolled over. Since I don't think you're going to come this high, I think, either you just roll over, consider sideways more, or I mean, you could get another jump up to like 23. You got your 200 weekly moving average around there. I believe that's going to be a big place, but it looks like you could come down, especially when you look at the daily. These split RSIs very rarely lie on the daily. Look, split RSIs, red dot, all these bring you down, a good amount to win a nice trade with a good risk reward ratio. You got to be patient with it. We've waited a little bit, but now I'm pretty ahead with that trade. It's like this. I mean, even this one I believe was 5%. So they give you good amounts here. They give you good amounts. And we'll talk about kind of the breakout in a second, but you're still in that bear market. Look, it just seems to roll over every time. I know this went higher, but even the times it does roll over to the red, decent jumps down. You know what I mean? Decent jumps down. It'll probably bring you down a bit more around testing, mid 19s, and that's the big kind of area I'm looking at right here. If we move on to the 8-hour, kind of the same deal. Look at this high right here. Bam, you came right down. So that'd be a trajectory to come down a lot on the 8-hour. We'll see what happens. 4-hour, getting deep into the red. 6-hour, I believe, is in the red right there. So just rolling over in that area. It could, in the most bearish of circumstances for the short term, you could have that drop down about 20% here. Not saying that's going to happen. I mean, the general trend right now is, sideways, but 20% would bring you right down to 16K. I mean, if we lose kind of that 300 weekly moving average, you're probably headed down to high 14s, low 15s this next point of support. After that, through 400 weekly moving average, but we'll see what happens. We've been in this range for 20 years now. I mean, since June, so I don't see any reason to believe we'll just randomly break out of it out of nowhere here, but we'll see. And yeah, I mean, 2-hour, coming down right there. So getting close to kind of a lot of the first take profits for my short positions, and might have just hit it on ETH, my first take profit. But yeah, you got a technical target for this breakout. Let's go back on right here. This is going to be a big area around 19.5. Do we have any spider lines around there? You do have this one, 19.6. So 19.5, 19.6, that's going to be a kind of a huge area, I feel like. Going back to Ethereum here, or starting with Ethereum, I should say. Look, I mean, most of these blue triangles on your 3-day gave you something. Most of them. This didn't, okay. This one did. This one, you had to wait a little bit longer, but eventually rolled over. This one gave you a lot. This one, I think you should start to come back down here. ETH is a little high. I can see you coming right back down to 1,300, but we'll see what happens. Getting high on your 2-day, getting very high on your 2-day. And unless we're, going into some hyperbolic, bull run, you're probably going to roll back over. I mean, even here, you were getting awfully close to your, mini bull market high in 2019 off of that area. So it looks likely you're about to kind of come down farther. Kind of for long-term too on ETH. I mean, for a good kind of entry point, maybe if we come back into the red towards the end of the year, January may be a good point to get into ETH long term. Also, I would be waiting we're really close to it, the 10-day to get into the red. Also, the 12-day, kind of like Bitcoin, you're not there yet, but this could be early next year. That would be kind of a prime place to try to get in. And you obviously could get in the red there without even making lower lows. So, yeah, there's that. So right here, the daily is the same as Bitcoin. It's the same general deal. It could bring you down quite a bit. This would be even more, kind of more bearish, I would say, because it doesn't happen as often. But this one, came down. What was this percentage downward? That was 18% down. And then right here, 18% down, right back to, where would that be? Yeah, top of that range, 13K. So it could absolutely drop down quite a bit here. Overheated there. Look at this, same general height, and then you just came crashing right back down. So that'd be a trajectory. 1100 could be in the cards here, but we're so sideways, so things taking a while to move lately. Overheated coming down the 4-hour. I mean, if it's like this right here, look at that on the 4-hour, right to that area, 24% downward. And 24% downward from where we are right now. That would be exactly at the spiral line. 1150 could be in the cards. 1150 could be in the cards, absolutely here. And then same deal, hourly, pretty bearish. Money flow coming out. Same with the 2-hour. Money flow coming out. I do think you may be headed back to this kind of area, that 1300 area right there. Take a quick look at Doge right now. I'll show you what I was looking at to kind of enter it. So I entered last night. As soon as this bearish div confirmed, money flow coming out, bearish div in the 6-hour. This is actually, shout out to Jason Casper. I learned this from him. He kind of told me this technique. Look at like a time frame, like the 4-hour, the 6-hour time frame like that or above on something going hyperbolic with money flow coming out and a bearish div. Usually you hit a top. Not always like anything else, but usually you got a top there. Worked out pretty well for the short. That was another trade I signaled out in the Discord. Ahead with it a good amount, entered kind of, I don't know exactly, probably around 14 cents. So ahead with it a good amount. I don't know if it's a little late to get in, but I do think it looks like, at least based on this 8-hour, that money flow starting to come down. You'd probably get down to 11 cents, and maybe, especially if ETH goes down to 1300, you could come all the way back down pretty quickly. It's hard to say with this, but 10 cents could definitely be in the cards here. So that's what I'm looking at, Doge. So yeah, guys, please leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Please subscribe to the channel if you are new. Check out the Patreon. Check out the exclusive Discord, link in the description below if you want to see some of my trade entries, stop losses, take profits. Had an amazing September, an amazing October. Not right 100% of the time, but we've done very well in there. It's a great community. Really good traders in there as well to learn from, so check that out. Also, the BITGET airdrop, like I mentioned before. Also, please follow me on Twitch for the live stream notifications and check all that out. All right, guys, hope you have a good one. Good luck with everything, guys. Goodbye.